Just because a person has potential doesn't automatically mean he or she will be successful. The world is filled with bright and talented people who never make the most of their abilities. In fact, some of the most successful people may not even be the brightest or most talented, but they do have two important qualities that help them succeed. One, they have grit, and two, they're resilient, which gives them the ability to get outside of their comfort zones to get what they want. So what does grit and resilience mean exactly? A person with grit is able to focus on a goal and stick with it until it's achieved. They might feel embarrassed at times when things don't go the way they planned, but they don't give up. Resilient people are tough and are able to bounce back quickly when things don't go well. They just keep on going until they've achieved their goals. Learning to master your comfort zone plays an important part in developing grit and becoming more resilient. It's a lifelong process and doesn't happen overnight, but with a little focus, intention, and effort, you might be surprised at how much grit and resilience you're able to achieve. Mastering your comfort zone is also going to require something else. It's going to require you learn how to face fear. But don't worry, you can learn how to face fear, which is important because fear is the #1 reason why people don't want to leave their comfort zones. The truth is, you're not going to be able to get rid of fear. Actually, fear can be a useful tool if it's used properly. The key is learning how to reframe fear so that you can learn how to use it rather than it using you. For example, imagine your comfort zone as a life ring out in the middle of the ocean, and the life experiences you want to have are floating around outside of that ring. You really want to dive into the ocean and have those experiences, but you're afraid you might fail, look foolish, or disappoint someone. In other words, you're afraid of the outcome of that experience. You might say that fear is now using you. Fear is a master at this game because being afraid doesn't feel very good either. It usually feels like a bunch of butterflies flying around in your stomach, often making you feel sick or short of breath. I mean, who wants to feel like that? But what if you could get those butterflies to fly in formation, allowing you to feel the fear, but dive into those waters and have that experience anyway? The comfort zone exercises will help you do that. Here's an example of how it works. Remember your comfort zone floating in the ocean? Now imagine an additional ring outside of that comfort zone, called the learning zone. This is a place that raises your level of anxiety, but not to the level of the panic zone, which is beyond the learning zone and usually the place where you think you might die. When you have an experience outside of your comfort zone, it's normal to feel some level of anxiety. After all, you're in new territory, learning how to navigate uncharted waters. And hopefully, you've planned that experience in your learning zone, not your panic zone. Of course, you're going to want that experience to be perfect, no mistakes, an A+, so you can feel good about it, right? But that's not the purpose of having an experience outside of your comfort zone. The purpose is to learn from the experience, not have a perfect outcome. Because learning from the experience is how we build grit and gain more resilience. The comfort zone exercises are meant to help you learn how to reframe the experiences you have outside of your comfort zone and encourage you to give yourself credit for having the experience instead of just focusing on the outcome, which is what fear wants you to do. The more you practice the exercises, the more you'll be able to master your comfort zone, be open to new experiences, develop some grit and resilience, and eventually make the most of your potential.